Okay, all right. So what I'll be doing today is Scala language. Okay, so let us continue. So what is a syllabus? Basically, this is what the syllabus I'm planning to continue or do it for you. I have to do SQL, so I thought let me do intermediate. I don't want to start at the beginning. The SQL is not very difficult, so I'll continue SQL in the middle. And big data is what we will be learning. Lot of information, architecture, how big data is built, all this information we will learn. We'll learn Hive, so later HBase, Flume. I'll be sending the syllabus for the interested people. And Scala and Python is what are the two programming languages which we will be learning, and it is most hot and happening. Okay, so I will be starting from here. I don't go with the traditional syllabus copy what is here, because these things are more interesting, and lot of people will Okay, now is it audible? That's why I asked you. If it is audible, just say yes or no. Now is it audible? If it is audible, I'll continue. Audible, yes, no. Audible now? Okay, now audible, great. See here, what I was trying to say is, this is a syllabus copy. I have still not given you because not many people ask me to give the syllabus copy, but I am showing this. So the traditional way of doing big data is, many people don't do SQL, but I have to cover SQL because SQL becomes very important as a building block. Even if you are a computer science engineer, you will have SQL, and many people don't know it. I will cover SQL, but not at the beginning. I will do in the intermediate. And we are doing Hadoop. There are a lot of architecture, like why Hadoop, what is MapReduce, what are these nodes, what is this yarn architecture where we use, and this comes to Hive. Hive is same as like SQL. This and all we will be covering. And NoSQL as becoming popular. HBase is one of the NoSQL. For your real-time data you use Flume, and Scoop you use, and Scala, Python have become very popular. Python, most of the people have heard. Scala, they have not heard. For big data, Scala is the #1 language, because we'll be learning Spark. Spark is built on Scala. So learning Scala makes you learn Spark, and each and every big data project has Spark and Scala. So you should mandatorily be very strong in Scala. Okay, so don't worry, we have a lot of classes on that, and that is the only reason I am doing it as the first topic. If I go with the traditional method, by the time you are coming to the most important topic, you will become bored. Okay, so let us go ahead with, I have all this materials, book and all. So let us go ahead. See, Scala. What is Scala? See, Scala is again a programming language. If you want to know, Scala is a programming language better than Java. Better than Java. Why better than Java? It has taken all the features of Java, and added its new features. Okay, so that's what this is what it has told. It is a general purpose programming language. It is very elegant, and see, it runs on JVM. That is a beauty. What is JVM? Java Virtual Machine. Java Virtual Machine. That means, where was the first Java Virtual Machine was there? It was in Java only. So that means you can run even your Java code in Scala machine. Even your Scala code you can run on Java machine, because any software or any code you write, it gets compiled in the Java Virtual Machine. So you write Scala code, you can compile in whatever Scala programming. Even you write Java here, it will work. Okay, so why? Because the compiler means your code gets converted into bytes using Java virtual machine, and you get the output whatever you have written. So your compiler, what it converts to the bytes is JVM. So Scala E also runs on JVM. Obviously Java runs on JVM, and both are like, why Scala runs on JVM? Because Scala has most of the features what Java has, and it has its new features. Actually many new features of Scala is taken inside Java. In Java new version and all, they are using the features of Scala. So who invented Scala? There is a person called Martin Odeski. He invented Scala around 2004. Okay, so Martin Odeski invented Scala around 2004. Okay, so this is a very powerful language compared to Java. I'll tell why this is very powerful language compared to Java. See, basically your Scala is a statically typed language. What do you mean by statically typed language? In some of the programming language, if you write x equal to Arish, it will work. This becomes a dynamic programming language. You are not required to give any variable, any value. But in Scala, you have to define the things at the beginning only. What is your x? Is it a variable value? I will speak about what is variable value. Just let me show you this, how to run Scala. You have to install something to run Scala. It will not run as is. Okay, so you will not get in your command line. If you do, there is some steps for installation. So see, some of the programming language, if you do like this, it will work, HARISH. But in Scala it is not like that. You have to give some var or val. What is this var or val? I'll tell you, HARISH. Now let me run this. Once I run this, you get some output. See here, now you do x. Automatically it has taken it as a string, because this is a string. You are giving in double quotes. Now see here, var y equal to 10. Say automatically it is an int. It is automatically declaring it as an int. Why we call it as statically typed? Because you have to give this var variable. Basically var means variable. Okay, so I will speak on this, but now I am just telling it's a statically typed language. You have to give some variable, and there is one more thing, the way we can declare any Scala programming, y equal to 100, whatever it is. See, there are two things, var and val. Okay, so there are two things to declare in Scala. One is variable and second one is val. Okay, var and val. Okay, this is what it is there. Okay, so let me show you that. Where did it went? Let me close it. Let me show you. Okay, see here, cannot assign. If I directly do x equal to 15, it will not work. But if it is a Python, it will work. Here you have to give var val, then only it will work. Okay, so let me go. So basically that's why we call it as statically typed. Even Java is statically typed, but Python is not statically typed, because you don't need to do all these things. We will learn it. So next we call Scala. See, even Java is, they call it as object oriented language, but it is not fully object oriented language. We call Scala as a complete object oriented language. We speak Scala as a complete object oriented language. Okay, So Scala is a complete object oriented language because it supports all the object oriented things like class, methods, polymorphism, inheritance. However, let me be straightforward. For our big data, we don't need all these class, methods, inheritance, all those things, because this is required for web development. For our big data development, we just need collections, which we will be learning thoroughly in our course, that is list, arrays, all those things are comes under collection. What are those? I'll teach you. You need not to get scared. It would be 3 to 4 lines of codes maximum. Even a 10th standard kid will understand. Many people are always scared as soon as we speak about Java or Scala. You need not to worry. Here I don't want to bug you with class, all those things. We don't require for a big data development. We just need list, array, and tuples, sets, maps. These are collections, and these are 2 or 3 lines of code. That's all. Okay, even I can teach 10th standard kid. So don't need to worry. Just try to concentrate. Okay, so it's a full object oriented. Why? Because each and every program of yours would be embedded inside objects. Whatever you have to write something means it has to be inside object. So if you write whatever inside the object, everything becomes object oriented. And okay, so that is one of the thing I want to speak about. And we call, I told you, right, anything is defined with var or val. If we define anything with var or val, always var. One more thing I wanted to show you here. I will define something var x equal to 50. Okay, now what is the value of x? It is 50. Now what I will do is I will try to change the value of x. Okay, I will change the value of x equal to 20. See, it is possible. The value of x is 20. So how I have declared is using var. Now I will declare it with val y equal to 20. Now I will try to change the value of y equal to 25. See, it's not possible. What I have declared? Val. What you have to understand? Using variable as your declaration, you can change the value of anything. But if you declare it as val, you can never change the value. That means once you declare the value, any value with val operator, the data becomes permanent. You can never change the data. But if you declare anything with var, you can change the value. Okay, so what I can say is var is mutable. What do you mean by mutable? Value can be changed. Value can be changed. Val is immutable. Value cannot be changed. Okay, so var is mutable, value can be changed. Val is immutable, value cannot be changed. So you saw this example. Again, let me show you. If I do with var x equal to, I can even give with alphabets also. India. I have told anything declared with var is mutable. That means I can change this value. X equal to, I can write USA. See, it has changed. The same way I will try to change val y equal to with some country, Japan. Now I want to change it with China. It is not possible. See here. Why? Because val are immutable. That is what I have written here. Val mutable, value can be changed. Var value can be changed. Val immutable, value cannot be changed. So once you have declared it as val, it becomes the permanent. Okay, so we will see this example. That is what I will show you in a moment. So just it's a theory part. See, your Spark is built with Scala. So I can say 70% in the company they use Scala to write Spark. So don't worry, How all these things happen, we will be learning in our class. Even though you don't have any idea, that's what I don't want to bug up with lot of theory you don't understand. And Python, some places they use, so don't worry, we will be learning Scala also, Python also. It would not be difficult. And what is the next thing? That's what I told you, right? You have a Scala, you do a compile, it goes to a bytecode, and with this bytecode it runs on JVM. So Scala also generates bytecode, even your Java generates bytecode, it runs on JVM. Okay, so Java virtual machine, same bytes of Java. So both are, I can even write Java code in my Scala compiler, it will work. Okay, because Scala has taken all the features of Java. Even the Java virtual machine is taken from Java. Now Java is taking many features because Scala has lot of new features. It has lot of rich repository of new features. Okay, so after that, that's what Spark. Okay, see, who is the father of Java programming? It is James Gosling. So he has told this information. What is the information he has told? If I was to pick a programming language other than Java, it would have been Scala. That is what he is telling. The father of Java programming always tells, any other programming language apart from Java I want to use for any development, I will be using Scala. Obviously can't tell Java is better than Scala because he is a person who built Java. So he is tell, apart from Java, if I want to take any programming language, it was Scala. Scala is super fast today. Many of the applications are built by Scala. So don't worry, these two ways, read, evaluate, print loop means Scala can be developed, or we can do the coding in two ways. One is command line, that is what we are doing, and one more is through Eclipse. This also I have to teach you the software and show you how to install all these things. This is one more way. This is a graphically user interface. You can write a bigger code here, for loop, all those things in the Eclipse. Eclipse, you know, even Java they write using Eclipse, but that's what in the example they are showing. Two ways to write Scala is, one is command line. Command line is what we will be learning at the beginning. After few days we will be learning how to build in Eclipse. See, if you see, everything here is with object. Okay, so let me open it. See here, any programming is inside object. That's why your Scala is completely object oriented language. Okay, so all these things we will be learning. It's not a difficult thing. We will be learning. I will be showing how to write this, for loop, all those things. If you see, everything is inside object. That's why your Scala is a pure object oriented language. Okay, so let us go ahead further. Okay, so let us okay, so where I was, let me just do this. I have already told your val is immutable because it can only read. You cannot do, write, edit, all those things. Your var is mutable. Mutable means what? You can do edit, you can do write, you can change the value. We have already seen. So that's what. Your val is immutable, your var is mutable. What is the next thing? All these things we can not speak now. Okay, this we will see later. So let us do some hands-on thing. It's not so difficult. Here we start writing a simpler code so that you understand. As I told, we have collections. So in this, let us go with list. List is one of the collection. Let me show how to write. See, var or val, you cannot write directly like this. Num equal to, you cannot write. It's just a user defined name. I can write a also. Okay, so any name I can do. I have to give set of values. Whenever I want to give many values, I have to use list or array or tuple. Directly I cannot give var num equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Will it work? Let us see it. Will it work? Let us see it. Where is this? No, it's not working. That's why we have to give something called list. List means collection of elements. So anyhow, I will elaborate on that. Let's go with a basic hands-on how to create a list. Now I want to find out the first element in the list. What is the first element of the list? 1. So how to find out the first element of the list? There is a function called add. Add will give you the first element of the list. Now I want to find out the remaining elements apart from the add, that is remaining elements apart from the first element. So what we can do is we can do num.tail. What does num.tail does? It gives the remaining elements apart from the first element, that is 2, 3, 4. We got it. Now I want to sum all these things. So to sum means how much I have to get? 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 3, 6, 6 plus 4, 10. So it's straightforward. We have a function called sum. We got 10 as the output. Now what I will do, let me create one more list and try to remove duplicate records from it. So see here var I will give with some name as Harish. Name can be anything. I told Harish, Mahesh, Sachin, Manoj, whatever it can be. Okay, so it can be anything equal to list of 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. I am purposefully creating lot of duplicates. If I do Harish, I get HARISL. I get lot of duplicates. Now I want to get only the distinct records. What do you mean by distinct? I should not get any duplicate records. So distinct command or a distinct function will remove all the duplicates records. Okay, so now I got, apart from duplicate records, the 2 records, 1, 2. So now what we will do is we will try to get the value from the index, where num equal to list of 1, 2, 3, 4. What I will do is, now I will try to find out the first value. Why you got 2? Because first value is 2. If you want to get this, always your index starts with 0. So here you got 1, later you got 2, and now you want okay, what is this? Num of 3 equal to 66. Okay, why I am not able to change? I told where you can change, but why are you not able to change? One more important learning you have to understand here. I told where is mutable. Mutable means you can change the value, but here as soon as I do num3, I wanted to change. Num3 means 0, 1, 2, 3 for this to 66, but it is telling it is not a member of the list. Why? See, I know where is mutable, but you should also know list are immutable. List are immutable means once any value created as a list, we cannot change the value. We cannot change the value. So even though we have var and list is always given the first priority. List is always given the first priority. First priority means we have both var, we have both list. Even though var is mutable, it takes this as the first priority. We know lists are immutable. That means this value becomes permanent. You can never change the value. That's why if you see here, you cannot update the value. You cannot change the value. So now there is a requirement. I want to change this value. How can I do this? We saw with the list you cannot change the value. With the list what happened? I wanted to change the value, it was not changing the value, so it was throwing an error. So as I told, lists are immutable. It is given the first priority. Even if you have var which is mutable, you cannot change the value, because once you create a list, all the data becomes permanent. You cannot edit the value. So that is why we can use arrays. We can use array. Let me show you array which is immutable. So let us see. Mutable means we can change the value. So how are we going to do? So before that, let me show you some more things with the list. I can even see what is the size before doing array. 1 2 3 4. I am just creating again and again. I want to see the size of this. What should be the size? 1 2 3 4. 4 is the size, so you will be getting 4 as the size. Okay, next I want to reverse the array. That means I want to get from behind. Reverse means 4 3 2 1. I am able to get. I want to get minimum value of this array with this list. What is the minimum value of this list? That is 1. Num dot minimum. We got 1. What is the maximum value of this list? In 1 2 3 4, the maximum value of this is num dot maximum. So you will get 4. Now I want to check whether this num means inside this num all this value stores 1 2 3 4. Whether this num is empty or not. Is empty or not. It's false. See, it's not empty, it has some value. If it was empty, it would have definitely told it as empty. Okay, so all these are the things which we can do using list, seeing the size, array, minimum, maximum, sum, first, head, tile, all those things we can see. Now, as I just told you here, the problem with list is I cannot change the value of any value. For that, let me use array where num equal to array of 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So now this is the array. Okay, this is the array. So let me run this. Array got created. It's an integer array. I didn't wrote anywhere integer, but Scala smartly took it as a integer. So now what I'll be doing now is, for this array, so I want to do some changes. Maybe like what I have to do, I have to change the value num of 3 equal to 66, maybe 0 1 2 3. Now instead of 4 it has to become 66. So now let me do this. Let me num of 3 equal to 66. See here, it got changed. Now if I do num, can you see here the value has changed. Using array we can change the value. You saw, right? Using array collection we can change the value. Okay, so now same thing, you can do all these things. If I want num dot add, what does num dot add does? It displays the first record. Num dot add always displays the first record. Num dot tail displays the remaining record apart from the first record. Now what is the size of the array? Now, size of the array is 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I want to increase the size. I want to add maybe after this num of 10 equal to 100. It's not possible. Array index out of bound exception. What it is trying to say? One more drawback of normal array is you can modify the value, but you cannot increase the size. If the size is 8, it is fixed. You cannot make the size. You cannot add after 8, 9, 10, 11. This is one of the drawbacks. So the drawback of array is you can add what? You can change or modify the value of the array. However, you cannot increase the size of the array. This is one of the drawback. To handle this, what we can do is we can use one collection. We have to import one collection. We call this as mutable array. So to increase the size, we have to import this mutable array collection. So how to do it, I'll show. So this is common in any programming language. You do import, and under Scala collection there will be one collection called mutable, M-U-T-A-B-L-E, mutable array buffer. With the help of this, I can start adding lot of values. Let me do this. It will be confusing for you as it is a day one, but learning all these things is worth, because it's a programming language. Many people don't learn, and getting job becomes very difficult. However, the way I am doing is 1 or 2 lines, it would not be so difficult. Okay, so now what is the thing is, let me start creating, var cars. What is this line doing? Array buffer string. So let me explain you this line. So I am trying to create an empty array buffer of strings. Anything in this, any programming language, as soon as you give new keyword, means you are creating an object. What is an object you are creating? You are creating an object of array buffer of data type string. So you are creating an object of array buffer of data type, strings, which are empty right now, So new keyword denotes it as a creation of an object. In any programming, even in Java, even in Python, to give a new keyword means you are creating, and you should understand this. Var or val, to define anything in Scala, you have to use var or val. Var is mutable, val is immutable. Okay, fine. And next, array buffer, it is a mutable array buffer. Why? Because I have imported this. As soon as you give import, it's in all programming language. You are importing means from inside the software you are trying to get mutable array buffer. Mutable means you can change the value, you can increase the value, and it's under Scala collection, and it's an array buffer. So let me do this. This is simple to say I am creating an array buffer of string which are empty, or empty string array buffer I am creating. Why? Because new is a creation of an object. New is a creation of array buffer string objects. Very simple way to say. So let me do this. Yes, it got created. Now what I'll do is, after this I will just add what I start adding. How I'll add? There is an operator for all your mutable. This is a mutable for all your import collection mutable array buffer. You can add the value by this simple plus equal to. Okay, this is a Scala syntax. I want to add BMW. Right now it is empty. Let me add BMW. Right now if I do cars, it would be empty. See here, there is nothing. After doing this, if I do cars, now it is BMW. Next I will add Jaguar, Jaguar, Jaguar. So just see here, this is the way I am adding cars. See here, now you have two things. Next thing, I want to add Audi plus or equal to AUDI, Audi. So with this, I am able to add 3 value. So like this way I can keep on adding. This is one way. And also I can see the length of this. How can I see the length? LENGTH. Length should be not here. Cars dot length. Length should be 3. See, all these are simple. Anyone can learn and understand. This is how we learn programming language. And next is, I want to remove one value. There are many ways to remove. I will show couple of ways. One of the ways I can do that using trim end, TRIM, trim end, end of 1. So trim, cars dot trim end. What is the issue? I think E is capital. Okay, yeah. See, now cars trim end will trim the end value. You have trimmed Audi. Okay. So now I want to insert. I can even add a value. Maybe I want to insert. See here, cars dot insert. In which position? Second position. 0, 1. Second position Bentley. I want to BNTLY. I want to insert Bentley. Can you see here? Now what has happened? There is a Bentley which has been done here, which has been added. So any doubts still here? Any doubts? Are you able to get whatever I am doing? So there are some functions, we call it as higher order function like map function. So I can show you that now, if you are able to get all these things. Okay, cool. So let us go ahead with one more function, map function. What is this map function? I will just tell you. Okay, so basically let me have one more list, num equal to list of 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so in this list, let me run this. Where is this? Let me run this. Okay, so in this list, what I want to do is, I want to do multiplication, something like this. For this I have to multiply like this. Well, num equal to, I just want to do x into x or num into num. Is this possible? Will it work? That means I want to make 1 into 1 1, 2 into 2 4, 3 into 3 9, 4 into 4 16. Will it work? it will not work. It will throw an error. Okay, so it is not possible. Even if I do something, giving something as x, okay, x into x, I am trying to make this as x and trying to do, it will not work. Num dot, it will not work. What will happen even if I do? It is not working. So I am not able to do multiplication. There is one way, just use map next to this. Now try to do. Can you see here? Using map function, we do many calculations, not only in Scala, even in Spark. Using map function, we do many calculations. So map becomes, we call map as an higher order function also. Map as higher order function, and we start doing lot of calculation using map. We will be seeing more examples, but without map we were not able to do. With map we were able to do. And you have to even understand this second line. What is this is x. As soon as I write x, all this value are called as x. 1 2 3 4. It's like doing like this. Num dot, internally how it calculates, x bracket 1 2 3 4 into 1 2 3 4. This is how internally it manipulates. Your x would be this value. Again your x would be this value. So it internally does 1 into 1 1, 2 into 2 4, 3 into 3 9, 4 into 4 16. That is how you are getting this value. And this is happening again by using map function. If you don't use map function, it does not have the capacity or power to do this calculation. That's why we call map as an higher order function. And we can do other things also, like we can create val e equal to num dot map of, let me do some addition. How I'll do? This is the syntax, x plus 1. See, x would be 1 2 3 4. For everything what I am doing, I am adding 1. The output I'll show you now only. So you should get 2, 1 plus 1 2, 3 4 5. This is how you have to get the output. So let me run this. You will see this output. Can you see here? You start getting 2 3 4 5 as an output. So this is the importance of the map function. So let us do some more in the same way. Let me do val b equal to e dot map of, let me do subtraction. I can even do subtraction, x minus 1. What does this do is, it does the subtraction. So it does the subtraction. Can you see here? It started doing subtraction of this. 2 was there, it started doing minus 1 minus 1 minus 1. So next, after doing subtraction, what I'll do is, I will try to make all the value to minus. Means what I'm trying to say is equal to c dot, we don't have anything called c, b dot, okay, we have done, okay, b dot map of, b dot map of x. See, I am using everywhere map. With map only I am able to do. If I remove map, it will not work. Okay, it is val. We don't have cal and all. Val or where, whatever it is. But it's not working. What is an issue? Is it this one? Okay, just take care all these things, spaces, all those things. That is all the R&D things you have to work. I have just tried to subtract all the things, whatever value I am getting as positive, just it is adding minus. So this is a way we can do the things. And let me show you one more good example they usually ask in interview. So one of the good example they might ask in interview is value fruits equal to list of apple, banana, banana, apple, banana, orange. Okay, so now I want to find the length of these fruits. So again, finding length, all those things, with the help of map function it would be more easy. Let me do this. See here, what I'll do for this is I'll just do fruits dot map of, this is a syntax, x dot length. Let me do like this, x, okay, let me add x comma x dot length. Okay, now I am expecting x will be apple, banana, orange. So first time it would be apple length is apple comma 5, banana length is banana comma 7, orange length is orange comma 6. So let me run this, try to find out. See here, you got this with this syntax. If I don't write map, I don't think so we will be getting this output. See here, that's why map is higher order function. For lot of calculation like this, we'll be taking the help of map function. Okay, so alright, so